Of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
True oldies live here. 95.3 and 96.9.
This program is furnished by amp2tv.square.
The content, information, and opinions expressed during the related show are those of the show personalities and guest alone, and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Good afternoon. This is Alan Pincus, and the show is the O. Allen Factor. And unlike the O'Reilly, it's OH exclamation. And the factor is whatever I decide the factor is going to be on any given show. I started comedy a little late in life. I find most things funny. If you don't, you got a problem. But about 2-3 years ago, I took a class at the Improv with this guy, Ramon Garcia. And even if you don't want to be in comedy and you don't want to do stand-up, I would suggest taking a class like that. It's just a lot of fun. It opens you up, makes you realize that everything isn't so bad. And but it's funny, I took the class, and you get like when the class is over, you get 5 minutes. So I did a 5-minute bit at the Improv. And then I was telling a friend, I think I'm going to take the class again. And he says, why? What happened? You failed? So I said, no, that's not the way this works. So I really suggest doing something like that. That and music is what keeps me going. So let's see, what's bothering me this week? I think what's bothering now is there are so many people out of work, and the people that work don't really have a real appreciation for their job. I remember when I had a construction company years ago in Manhattan, and I hired this young guy. I mean young, around 20 years old. I hired him on a Wednesday, and Friday I walked over to him and said, can you work tomorrow? And he says, what, are you trying to kill me? So that's the kind of work incentive that people in this country have, which is why we're going this way. I'll give you an example. I was at a food court the other day, and I walked over to the kiosk to get a drink. And I put my hand down on the counter. It was so sticky that when I pulled my hand away, I left some skin. And I look at the girl behind the counter, and she says, I'm getting to that. So it's 2 square foot a counter. She's getting to it. So her job is to be behind the counter, but this 2 square foot happens to be something more than her job. And I said, are you waiting for somebody to lose their fingertips before you've cleaned the counter? I can see if she was working on, let's say, like an elephant compound, and the boss came over and said, the southeast corner, there's a problem. And then you say, oh, I'm getting to it. But a 2 square foot piece of counter, I mean, to take a rag and do this takes about 3 seconds. So let's see, what else is bothering me? Oh, the other morning I went to a diner. I don't want to mention the name, Denny's. And I walk in, it's 5:45 in the morning. And I'm the only one in the restaurant. And I sit down, and the waitress says, "I'll be right with you." And I'm thinking, what could she possibly be doing that she's going to be right with me instead of coming and being right with me? I mean, is there a fire in the kitchen and she's the only one with the fire extinguisher? And even if that was the case, you can still come and take my order and then go put out the fire. Taking my order takes about 3 seconds. So anyway, now she comes over, she takes my order, bacon, eggs, a basic order, coffee, and she goes away. I don't know, maybe a minute, 2 minutes later, she comes back and says, "The coffee's gone, so I'm going to make a new pot." So I'm thinking, the coffee's gone? You are the only one here. Didn't you pour the last cup at some point? Did you not anticipate somebody coming into your coffee place at 5:45 in the morning would possibly want coffee? Did somebody come in and steal the coffee? What do you mean the coffee's gone? So she's making her cup of coffee. So I'm sitting, I'm still waiting, nothing's happening. And I'm waiting for my coffee. And then I hear her screech, "Wally, did you get the order?" And Wally says, "What order?" Again, now I specifically positioned myself right in the front. Now when you're sitting at a counter, I was sitting in a booth, and then you have the counter, and then you see the open kitchen. So I can see Wally, or I can see from Wally from the chest down, because the opening in the counter doesn't go that high. There is one piece of paper in the whole counter, and Wally is wondering what it is. I don't know what Wally's doing, but then he finally looks at, I'm just trying to think. Wally is behind the counter. He sees me at the table, and it doesn't occur to him, why is this guy sitting at a table with no coffee and no food? Maybe he wants something. Should I ask the waitress if she took his order? I can see the piece of paper right in front of me. So finally, I get my order. This took about another 20 minutes. So Wally, I assume Wally was behind the counter checking his portfolio. I'm not sure, but it was so early in the morning, it was probably an overseas portfolio, so I can understand the problem there. Most of the comedy I do is quite, how do I put this, filthy. So to get on this show, I had to bring it down a bit. And actually, I had to bring it down a lot. One of the things I like talking about is the difference between men and women. One of the differences, the other day I was shaving, and I took the top of the shaving cream off, and it slipped, and it hit the toilet, then it hit the side of the bathtub, then it popped up, and I got it just before it hit the floor. I did smack my head and cut my head open, but my answer was, what a great catch. Willie Mays couldn't have made that catch if he was in this bathroom. Now, a woman would have watched it bounce off the boat, watch it hit the floor. If it was still moving on the floor, she would not have even picked it up until it stopped moving. Another thing that really gets me is, if I'm going to have milk and cookies, this is most men. We'll put the cookies on the table, open the bag, pour a glass of milk, take a handful of cookies, we'll put them on the table and start eating. Now the milk is gone in the glass, and there's 2 cookies left. So we put more milk in the glass to eat the 2 cookies. Now we eat the 2 cookies, and there's milk left in the glass. So now we got to take out more. This goes on back and forth until the cookies and milk are gone. Now, what women do, they take 3 cookies out of the bag and close. How do you know you only want 3 cookies? What I think happens is all the women get together and say, this is how we are going to annoy all the men. We are going to do things like that. So she puts the 3 cookies down and pours 2/3 of a glass of milk. Not a half, not a full glass, 2/3. Not only that, she was talking to me at one point and still managed to do 2/3 of a glass. And I'm saying, what are you, like birds? Do you know the magnetic fields, you can just feel it's 2/3? I think that's really what it is. I think there's a conspiracy that women actually have that drive us crazy. I'm not sure why they want to do this, but it seems that they will. The other thing is, like, a man will take something out of the refrigerator. Let's say it's a bottle of milk, and he'll look at it, and it's expired, but that doesn't mean much. Put it back in, take it out 3 days later, take a sip. Now it's 4 days expired. Again, he puts, this will happen till it turns to cream. Now, a woman will go into the refrigerator, look at it, it's 3 days old, and throw it away. And that's it. I'm not sure why this happens, but this is always the case. And I'm sure there's a conspiracy about this. So I'm looking at notes because I wrote most of this recently to take all the dirty stuff out. Another thing men will do is we'll go out at night and we'll spend $200 on dinner. Hey, you want a drink? You want a drink? And then the next day, we'll take the toothpaste container and squeeze the last bit of toothpaste out like there was no air in the room and there was oxygen in this toothpaste holder. I don't know why, but we have to get that last piece out. Let's see, what do we got next that bothers Alan today? Women often say that men don't listen to them. That's not the situation. We listen. We just have a breaking point. You see, a woman can say in one sentence 11 different things. For instance, it's my mother's birthday this weekend, and maybe we should take her out. Oh, no, you know what? Let's take it to my sister's house because my sister has a big house. And, oh, wait a minute. I forgot she's painting the house, so we can't take it there. So maybe we'll go out to that, remember that restaurant? And that's it. We're gone. It's a syndrome. It's called auditory immune system. We blank out. We cannot understand the words. And we know there's words coming at us, but we just can't comprehend anymore. Then we go into the head bobbing. And the head bobbing is just like we understand the words, even though we don't understand the words. But we continually do this until something happens, which either they get mad or the conversation ends and we can move away. You know what I love too? The dating scene. That really gets me. There's first of all, let's talk about toxic male as part of the dating scene. Has anybody really explained what a toxic male, toxic masculinity is? I mean, I've never kissed a girl and then she would just die right there. Like the cops would come over. What happened? I don't know. I kissed her and she fell. She's not moving. Uh-oh, he's another one of those toxic masculinity. Quick, get the hazmat suits. Please, somebody tell me what toxic masculinity is. So then I go on the dating line. Oh, I love some of these things. I just love this stuff. One of them is must love dogs. You must love dogs. Why must I love a dog to go out with you? Can't I just like a dog? Come in, pet the dog, let the dog move around, move away. Do I have to love the dog? The best ones are they put the dog up on their face so you can only see half their face and the dog is there. And I'm saying, do you strap the dog to your face when we go out? I mean, I wouldn't mind that, but the dog has to pay for himself. I'm not paying for the dog, too. That's for sure. The other thing is, this one I love. My family and friends are very important to me. Well, to me, it's cockroaches and spaghetti, so we won't get along very well. I mean, friends and family are important to me. I had one girl I met. Well, I didn't meet her. I saw her online, and then we met. And when she gave her picture online, she was in this black jumpsuit. And when she came to meet me, she was in the black jumpsuit. The only difference is she was 20 years older and 50 pounds heavier. So I'm thinking this had to be made out of parachute fabric for it to stay closed. I don't know how it did, but that's what you find online. And for some reason, they think we're not going to notice that the picture was 20 years old, and you looked a lot differently back then. But they really think we don't see that. You know, I'd like to see one woman be honest and say, you know, instead of family and friends are so important to me, blah, 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 like one woman to say, I hate my family, I hate my father, my mother's a drunk, my brother thinks he's Jesus. Now that's the girl for me. She is so, there's nothing that you can do to this person that can hurt her. So this would be the girl for me. So where am I going now? I'll have to go through this. I don't know if this can be considered acceptable. Let's take a commercial break right now. We will be back in a moment, and I will recollect my thoughts and try not to be filthy.
If a tree falls in the woods and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? Have you ever felt that your voice goes unheard? And you think that you can make a difference if only someone would listen. It's time for women in business to have a place to step into your power, a platform to embrace your hopes, dreams, and your visions, a voice to heal and restore. Your voice can make a difference. We have a platform you deserve to share your story and let your voice be heard. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself the chance to be heard and shine bright. Contact New Dawn Media by texting CAFE to 55312. That's CAFE to 55312. Or call us at 866-224-5422. Your voice can make a difference. Coffee News is a fun, family-friendly weekly publication provided free to restaurants, coffee shops, and waiting areas for customers to enjoy. Grow your business today through the power of effective, affordable advertising. Coffee News is an active marketing medium specializing in the ongoing weekly promotion of your business. This builds awareness for your company so you become known as the leader of your industry and develop brand awareness so people think of you first when they want your services or products. Maximize your visibility and achieve outstanding results. For more information on Coffee News, contact Sunrise Coffee News at mail.com or give them a call at 954-951-7870.
We hope you're enjoying this episode of the Brooklyn Cafe TV show. Whether you enjoy watching in the mornings or afternoons, you can now watch with your favorite merchandise. Choose from the Brooklyn Cafe t-shirts, ranging from sizes small to 3XL. Colors available include black, dark heather, and navy. Feeling chilly? Just check out our latest hoodie with over 9 colors to choose from. Sip on some Brooklyn Cafe coffee with Dawn and Freddie in a matching mug as seen on set. Brooklyn hats and special seasonal items are always popping up and available upon request. To purchase, you can visit our online store at brooklyncafe.tv/shop. Happy shopping!
So we're back. So let's see what else. I recently lost 30 pounds, and now I gained 30 pounds, so I'm maintaining my weight. I'm very proud of that. I was having a talk with somebody on Facebook about being a vegetarian. And she says, well, humans really aren't vegetarians. And I said, well, if you understand the history of humans, you'll understand that we followed the herds. And then when we learned animal husbandry, we stopped following the herds, and that's when society came up. And she says, well, if you put a rabbit and an apple in a crib with a baby, the baby's going to go for the apple and leave the rabbit. And I said, if you put a baby and a rabbit in my crib, I would beat the rabbit with the apple, eat it, and then have the apple for dessert. So that was part of my explanation of humans. That's how we got dogs, by the way. The dogs used to follow the humans, and that with the herds, and then the docile dogs became part of our herd and animals, and then all of us ate the damn rabbits. Let's see. So I walked into one of those convenience stores, you know, in the gas station, and I say to the guy at the counter, I want some AA batteries. And he looks back and goes, "Lele Buddha Baba." And I said, yeah, AA batteries. And he hands me an umbrella, one of those little umbrellas. I said, no. I want AA batteries. And he says, "Ala Baba." Now he hands me a piece of candy. So I paid for the umbrella and the candy, and I walked outside, and wouldn't you know it, it's raining. And I'm standing outside, I got the umbrella and the candy, and I'm eating the candy, and then I realized AA batteries in his language means I want to eat candy in the rain. And he gave me an umbrella so I didn't get wet. So he was actually being very nice to me. So I really liked the guy for that. Years ago, we didn't have all these phones that tell you how to go. I met a girl in Hawthorne, New Jersey, and I lived in Manhattan, so I had no idea where Hawthorne was. And in those days, it was you make a right on 19, and then you make a left, and then you make a right. So on the way there, I stopped in a gas station, and I say to the attendant, this is somebody who actually speaks English at some level. And I say, do you know where Hawthorne is? And you know, I don't know Hawthorne. I don't. I said, okay. So I get in the car, and I go out of the gas station and make a right turn. There's a sign the size of a barn that says Hawthorne. So I couldn't take it. I backed up. I said, can I ask you a question? Do you think if you went out this exit, you would fall off the edge? Are you a flat earther? Did you never go out this side of the parking lot and know there's a sign that's that big that says Hawthorne that when I asked you, you didn't know? Do you live behind the counter? Do people just come in and throw meat behind the counter and you just stay there? You just come one way in, one way out? I don't understand how you don't know you're 2 blocks from Hawthorne. But I think this has a lot to do with the dumbing down of the education system. What we do now is we bring the education down to the level of the people that aren't smart enough. Like part of the curriculum now is, well, Johnny's able to sit upright in his chair. That's a half a grade right there. Who's the captain of the team? Well, we're picking Billy because he doesn't pee on himself anymore. This is it's going to get to the point where we're going to revert back to cavemen. The system has got to go up, not down. I don't think this is going to happen anytime soon. But hopefully, with this program of mine, people will look at it and say, oh, the Allen factor, we know how to educate people now. This will be much different. We'll be able to do this where people can actually walk and talk and know which way they're going at the same time. So people ask me, why did I start comedy to begin with? Why did I get into the comedy? And what I told them was to get the voices out of my head. And I really think, hey, you think it's going to be that easy? Talking to. So what happens is I think you write so much comedy that you're always thinking, and then there's not enough room for the voices. And, hey, what about me? Who the hell are you? Oh, fooled you, cupcake. So I really think this is working out well. I think the more I do the comedy, the less the voices will be there. And finally, I think I will be alone in my own head, hopefully. Thank you for watching. I will be back, whether you like it or not.